the Sookshma, Intricacy, of Subathuva, Beneficence, astrologer Aditya Guruji, already in the chapter on Mars. While explaining how Mars attains Subathuva, I had touched briefly upon Saturn. Here we can further elaborate on the status of Saturn. The Subathuva of a planet indicates its ability to do good to mankind. The planets with Subha, beneficial, light are only capable and qualified to give the required benefits to mankind. Our sages have differentiated those planets that are devoid of Subha light as malefics, and these planets are destined to give only evil functionalities that are harmful to mankind. Only when the malefic planets are devoid of their natural luminescence and derive the illumination from a Subha planet do they give good results to mankind by way of attaining Subathuva. In other words, malefic planets when aspected by Subha planets attain Subathuva and do good to mankind beyond their temperament. A subtle Sookshma, intricate, conjuncture here in Subathuva is that the malefic planet would give maximum benefits when it derives the illumination from the benefic planet that is in its close proximity. Mars would do a lot of good when he is in close proximity to a luminous moon. The aspect and proximity of moon would be more favorable in attributing Subathuva to Mars than the aspect of a far-away placed Jupiter. At the same time, this Subathuva is dependent on the strength of moon. That means when moon is in a waxing phase and with lot of radiance, getting closer to Purnima, full moon, and aspects or associates with would result in greater Subathuva to Mars that is also placed at angular positions to Sun. Moon in Purnima is capable of glorifying Mars to the maximum, thereby turning him to become a complete benefic. When Mars attains Subathuva he would alter the character of the native from being a rowdy, carrying weapons, impertinent, short-tempered or hasty, to taking up a career in police force, army, sports, medical, construction and administrative professions. He would give profits in real estate. Those employed in police department and uniformed services are all blessed with a Subha Mars. Depending on the gradation of the Subathuva of Mars does he attain different levels in his profession. There are levels of power in the police department starting from a constable to a Director General of Police, DGP. It can be seen that while certain people joining as a constable get promoted to the level of sub-inspector before retiring from service, while certain others begin as sub-inspectors and retire getting elevated to senior ranks at the state level. Very few join right in the beginning as senior officials at the state level or as IPS officers and reach up to the level of DGP before retirement, as Mars should be in Subathuva status for a career in police department. The various gradations in the profession are directly related to the levels of Subathuva of Mars. Based on evidences, I have clearly inferred on why one retires as a constable while another on the contrary shines in the same field at the highest echelon as its DGP, to be solely the Subathuva strength of Mars and the differences in the luminosities of Moon and Jupiter that sanctify the Mars. I can explain this phenomenon astrologically and also elaborate on it scientifically. Mars, when associated with Moon and Jupiter, would attain Subathuva and would bestow its favorable significations or would bestow the good functionalities that are useful to mankind. A native born with Moon closer to Purnima or on a Purnima, aspecting the Mars that also gets associated with another benefic, Jupiter, would see immense growth. If Moon in the preliminary waxing phase or with a diminished radiance due to association with some other planets, and similarly Jupiter is also with a defective radiance, get associated with Mars, then the native born with this configuration will join services as constable and retire at best as a sub-inspector. This is the Sookshma, Intricacy, of Subathuva, Beneficence. I can prove this philosophy with evidences gathered from my detailed analysis of innumerable horoscopes of senior officials in the police department. A Subathuva Saturn qualifies to give good results to mankind. only when he happens to be benefited from the grace or illumination of the proximal Jupiter rather than aspect from either Moon or his close friend, Venus. After Jupiter, the aspect and association of Venus followed by that of solitary Mercury and then the aspect of waxing Moon diminishes his maleficence, thereby converting him to deliver good results. An important Sookshma further is that Saturn would bestow entirely favorable results when the planet beneficiating Saturn is with complete radiance and is very powerful. In other words, the beneficence attained by Saturn would be proportional to the strength of the beneficiating planet. That means the benefic planet getting associated with Saturn should be with complete strength. For example, when a powerful Jupiter placed either in Sagittarius or Pisces showers its ninth aspect onto Saturn placed beneficially either in Scorpio or Leo, then Saturn would attain beneficence, empowering him to give favorable results. But if the aspecting Jupiter is not single but is in association with inimical planets or is combust in association with Sun or weakened by association with Rahu or any such configurations that weaken him, his aspect would not beneficiate Saturn. No favors could be expected from such a Saturn. Saturn would only give harmful results. Under circumstances as mentioned above, if in a situation if it appears superficially that Jupiter is sighting through a ninth aspect, but he is actually devoid of any grace and in a weakened state, then our predictions would falter. Hence, before concluding on whether a malefic planet has attained beneficence, it is better to estimate the strength of the planet that is involved in the glorification. My repeated explanations on the gradations of Subathuva needs to be imbibed correctly towards understanding the contradicting behavior of planets and thereby understanding the inequality that exists amongst the human beings on the basis of astrology. It is a sense of great satisfaction and happiness, when a father brings his 12th standard ward to inquire about his prospects and route he should take, to predict that he would become a NIAS officer on a particular month and a particular year, and subsequently the father and son coming together to convey that, "Sir, I am taking charge as the sub-collector on that date as per your prediction. To seek your blessings." The totality and accuracy in predictions can be realized only through the planetary Subathuva and Sookshma strength. There are a number of requests directly and through posts asking for explanations on the concept of Sookshma strength mentioned by me. I have already written independent articles on Papagranal and Sookshma Vow theory, the doctrine of intricate strength of malefic planets, in Malay Malaya as well as in Balajothidam. This article is also available at my website www.adityaguruji.in. As indicated earlier, if Saturn, that has been glorified with the aspect of Jupiter, Venus, solitary Mercury or waxing Moon, also owns favorable houses to the native, then he would do good through his evil significations or functionalities. Here, my reference to evil significations of Saturn include sales of liquor or wine, sales of meat by killing the livestock, leather products, prohibited liquids, petrol, black-colored objects, cheating others, garbage and waste materials that are not required and are considered harmful to human beings. Why has been Sun termed as a half malefic? I had indicated earlier that astrology is based on geocentric concept which has been accepted by modern science. Accordingly, in astrology some configurations could be understood better if the term Sun is replaced with Bhumi, Earth. Certain unrealizable concepts would get better clarity. To put it more clearly, while the luminosity of Sun never increases or decreases, we experience extreme heat in the month of Chaitra, aligning with the rule of Sun being in exaltation. It is only we who are feeling the extreme radiation in the month of Chaitra, but Sun as such is stable. His radiance is constant all through the months. It is because of the change in position of Earth with respect to receipt of radiance from Sun. Do we feel the extreme warmth in summer? At the same time, when it is told that Sun is in debilitation in the month of Apasi, Aswina, Sun does not hide anywhere, he stays wherever he is. The status of Earth has only changed to be covered by clouds, cutting off the illumination from Sun. If we could compare this with the half-malefic designation of Sun, it can be realized that as there are two states of receipt of illumination from the Sun by the Earth, when it receives the luminosity during the day and is devoid of the same in the night, though the Sun is constant but the way we feel gets altered while considering the same from Earth, applies to the description of Sun as a half-malefic. This is the Sookshma, Intricacy, with respect to the benefic-malefic status of Sun.